Hey guys, this is Ryan with Mama on Mission, and today I am finally bringing you what we read in February. I look a little crazy because I'm getting ready to go work out, but um, I'm getting it done. So, um, first things first, I usually address podcasts when I do these, and one I've been listening to a lot lately is called Crime Junkie, which you know me and true crime, I kind of like that kind of stuff. And Crime Junkie is a clean and quick um, true crime podcast, and not much in language or anything like that. And it doesn't take me, they're fairly short episodes, so I don't have to like set aside a huge chunk of time to watch them. So I recommend that if you're into true crime and stuff like that. As far as nonfiction, of course, I'm still on the Wellness Revelation, reading through that slowly. I know you're probably sick of seeing this, but it is what takes up part of my reading time, and I just am slowly going through it. It's an 8-week journey, but I'm going through it even a little slower than that. Lots of good stuff in there. And then the other nonfiction book I am currently listening to, I'm not reading it, is A Life-Giving Parent by the Clarksons. And I hope to actually get a hold of a hard copy because now that I'm a few chapters in, I am loving this book. And I would like my own hard copy to like highlight and take notes with and everything. So hopefully I will get a hold of one of those. As far as fiction, shocker, still on Atlas Shrugged. And I realize, like, one, you're getting sick of me saying that I'm reading this book, but I also realized that I could get through this a lot faster if I would stop reading other fiction while I'm reading this one, but I simply can't. Like, it's just like a really long and a really, not really boring, but just like involved book. And there's a lot of like philosophical and kind of political undertones in it. So like I've got to have something else going at the same time. I can't just read this all the time. So it is taking me longer than I had hoped, but I think I am finally on, like, when you download the audiobook for it, at least through Audible. I think it came in 8 parts, and I think I'm on part 7 right now. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to get this book read. And then I also, everyone, round of applause, finally finished up Frankenstein. And I didn't hate it as much as I thought I did at the beginning. I think the problem was I just should have read this a lot earlier in life, because I've, obviously known the story of Frankenstein for a long time despite not having actually read it. And so, like, I kind of knew what was going to happen and everything. But keeping in mind how young Mary Shelley was when she wrote this, made it a little better. Like, understanding that she was not very old when she wrote this, and it is very well written. So I'm done with it. And then I read this short little book, sorry for the glare, Mississippi Bridge by Mildred Taylor. She wrote, obviously, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, and this is just kind of a continuation of that. And it was just something that I found at it was like a library sale. They were getting rid of their old books, and I was like, hey, I just read that. So I picked that up to read, and I will also be reading the actual sequel to the book, hopefully soon. And that was all. Oh, no, it wasn't. I also read or listened to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. It was suggested to me by one of my old elementary school teachers, actually, on Facebook, and I loved it. It was a very good coming-of-age story, so if that's like a genre that interests you, I very much recommend that. Yeah, I'd give that a 5 stars. That was pretty good. That was it for me. I feel like there's a lot more, but it's because I'm filming this toward the end of February, and I read a lot more since the end of January. So that's all for January. For our read aloud, we started Mrs. Pigglewiggle. We may have started that in December. No, I'm pretty sure we started this in January. I don't remember. But we are about 2/3 the way done. Kind of a funny little story, and has some good lessons in it as well for little kids like mine. But we will probably wrap that up pretty soon. The reason why we aren't further along in it, we should have already had it done by now, but one, my kids have been getting some really good picture books from the library that they've been wanting to read aloud, so I've let them do that. And also, we got a little bit behind on our history and science in our homeschool, and both of those are very reading intensive. So we had to kind of take some of our reading time and catch up on reading and history and science. So not as far as not as far along as I would like to be on Mrs. Pigwiggle, but we'll be wrapping that up soon. And I guess we had just started that though in January. We weren't 2/3 of the way through with it. See, this is the problem of filming too late. Whatever. And then for my 7-year-old, he read a lot in January, actually. He read Marvin Red Post and the Flying Birthday Cake. He gave that a thumbs up. I thumbed through it and thought it was kind of goofy myself, but he liked it. Then he read Flat Stanley's Worldwide Adventures, book number 1. It's like the newest round of the Flat Stanley books. The Mount Rushmore Calamity, I think is what this one was called. And he gave that a thumbs up. And then he read a book from the Field Trip Mysteries, which I had never heard of. I just happened to see it in the library and picked it up for him. And it was called The Seals That Wouldn't Swim, and he gave that one a thumbs up. So then he read, this book, Magic Tree House number 10, Ghost Town at Sundown, gave it a thumbs up. So he liked all the books that he read. He seems to fly through these the fastest, so I don't know if that's because they're easier than some of the other ones he's picked, or if it's because he likes them better. I'm not really sure. When I asked him why he was giving everything the thumbs up, he said, I just really like reading, Mom. So, okay. I mean, I'm not going to stop that. So that is all we read for the month of January, and it won't be probably a week or two, and I'll be doing what we read in February. So sorry to get behind on that. If you have any suggestions on books that you think I would like to read, either by myself or read aloud to my kids, or a podcast I'd like to listen to, or something that my 7-year-old might like to read by himself, then please comment those below. And also comment, what you're reading right now and how you're liking it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.